Hello farmers, and welcome to this episode by Zim Farmer. Today we are going to be talking about why most people fail when it comes to backyard broiler production. Well, before we get down into business, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so that you won't be left out when it comes to future videos. We are going to be making a whole lot of videos like these ones, teaching you how to take care of your farms, how to run a profitable agribusiness. So don't forget to comment, don't forget to share, don't forget to tell a friend about Zim Farmer. Welcome back, viewers. uh, like I said, we are going to be talking about why most people fail when it comes to backyard broiler production. Well, broiler production is quite challenging. It is something that is a bit challenging. Well, as long as if you don't follow the basic principles to how you can make it successful, to how you can run it better, I promise you, you will fail. You won't be able to succeed for a few batches. You go for at least 2 or 3 batches and then you're down. I see most people fail due to these steps, due to these reasons. Okay, reason number one, um they have no idea. When it comes to business, bookkeeping. At least you must have. Bookkeeping is simple, it is easy. You don't even need to go to school so that you'll be able to do bookkeeping. Just Bookkeeping is more like simple mathematics. You just have to know. You just have to be able to calculate your profits, your loss, and your expenses. So that you will be able to succeed when it comes to this bit. Secondly, guys, you must listen. You must have what is called a vaccination program. Vaccination is the most crucial part when it comes to broilers. Those chickens, they need to be vaccinated almost all the time. Make sure, don't wait for a disease to strike your chicks. Always stay ahead. You have a vaccination program. Always vaccinate each and every time where vaccination is needed. Right. Number three, there is this problem when it comes to feeding. People don't know how to feed broilers. It's not about filling those feeding pens with food. Broilers eat up to 4 to 5 kg a bed, so that they may be able to reach slaughter weight in 7 weeks. Yes, and the slaughter weight is mostly 2 kgs, more or less. So when you fill your feeding pens with food, don't just fill them so that they will overflow, because people think that broilers, they need to eat. Well, when that chicken is full, it wastes food. So you must make sure that your feeding pens are at least a half filled, or maybe a third filled. When food, most people lose a lot of money buying food, because if you waste a lot of food, if you waste a lot of food, you'll be wasting a lot of money, and that is where most people tend to fail when it comes to broiler production. Right. Then, the last one is knowing how to sell. Marketing. Marketing is very difficult. You must Okay, when it comes to broilers, you don't need to keep them. Once they have reached that slaughter agent, it's better for you to slaughter them and sell them as chicken pieces or slaughtered meat, other than keeping them, feeding them. They will be gaining a lot of fat, and they will be consuming a lot of food, and they will be consuming a lot of money. They will be, your losses you'll be gaining more losses more than profits when you keep those broilers. Broilers must be kept for at least 3 days. Sell them for at least 3 days. If they exceed 3 days, it's better for you to slaughter them and then sell them as just chicken. And I don't know how you're going to sell them, but make sure that you don't have to keep them for at least 3 days. It's better you sell them all for at least, first day, second day, and third day, because they'll be feeding them as long as if they are alive. So it's better for you to sell them for. Make sure you don't let it exceed 3 days. That is what you must never exceed 3 days. Well, now we have reached that part which you all have been waiting for. Okay. When you want to start a product, a productive backyard broiler production farm, there are a few things that you need. You're gonna need a cage, obviously, for protection, and you're gonna need electricity, water, and lighting heaters, and feeding pens, and if you and make sure, and a lot of attention, because broilers need a lot of attention. You have to be always there, and make sure that there is medication. So you start first of all, you must do this. You must list every expense that you're going to use when it comes to broiler production, each and every expense. Let's say, and these expenses, we are talking about expenses after you've made the cage for the broilers to grow up in, and those feeding pens, and lighting for brooding, then electricity bills and water bills. Those will be calculated on their own, and these expenses are the expenses that you will be using when railing these broilers. So what you will need to do is this: take a paper and a pen and start writing a list of the things that you will use. Firstly, you must write chicks. Let's say you must write chicks, and then you must know how much one chick cost and how many chicks you are willing to purchase. So you must write chicks, and then you write the cost, the amount of one chick, and then on the other row you must calculate and put on the amount of all the chicks that you want to buy. Because let's say if you want to buy 100 chicks and each chicks cost $1, you must write at the end $100 for chicks. And then secondly, you must write the amount of vaccinations. You must list all the vaccines that you're going to purchase, like the diseases that you usually need vaccination for chicks. And we are going to make a video about poultry diseases and vaccinations. Stay tuned, subscribe. Then maybe it's going to be the third or fourth video from this one, but we are going to make a video about vaccination programs for broiler farming, and all other poultry farms, all other poultry productions. Now, then after the vaccination program, after the vaccines, you must write how many vaccines you will need, and how much they will cost you, rather than done. And then the other thing that you need to write is food. You must know how much food your chickens are going to consume. As you said earlier, a chick, for it to reach slaughter stage, it needs at least 4 to 5 kgs per chicken. So which means you're going to need 400 to 500 kgs for 100 chicks of feed. So you must calculate all that and make sure it must be 400 to 500 kgs of feed for 100 broilers. It mustn't exceed. If you exceed that, it means that you are now running losses. Okay, then you must also write. Those are the most important things that you need to write down before you start before you purchase your broilers. So if you calculate, and then you calculate all the money that you have used, you calculate all the expenses, and then you put them there. Then you go and now buy your chickens. Then you rear them until they reach the that slaughter stage. Then you sell them and calculate every single feed, every single expense that you will have used rearing those chickens. Then after you have sold them, make sure that it takes at least 3 days for you to sell every single chicken that you have. At least 3 days. You must not exceed that, because if you exceed that, it means that you are wasting feed, and you are now using a lot of money. So 3 days, they are all sold out, and then you write all the money that you gained from selling your chickens, and then you subtract all the expenses, and then you see how much profit you have made, and then you put aside that profit, and then you go and buy more chickens again. Right, when you buy this time, then this is the second page. On the second page, you must, let's say you buy another 100 again. On that second page, when they reach the age of 2 weeks, you must buy another 100. This one will be the third page. Okay, let's say you have enough money to buy one page. Okay, So when you on the second batch, that's you will have made a lot of profits if you follow these, or if you follow these rules, you will have made a lot of profit. So which will allow you to buy at least 2 batches this time. So when you buy the first batch, when it reaches 2 weeks, you buy another batch, like a second batch. By the time this batch reaches the age of selling, this batch will be almost there. When you sell this batch out, when it is all sold out, this other second batch, it will be ready to be sold out again. So you only sell that second batch, the third batch will be in place to be sold again, and then you buy 2 more batches. Your batches must live at least 2 weeks in between. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. You must sell something almost every 2 weeks. You must be selling a batch every 2 weeks. Must be selling a batch every 2 weeks. Must be selling a batch. Not to do like not to be like you buy one batch, you sell. When you have sold it out, you go and buy another one and you sell again. You go and buy another one and you sell again. And I promise and I tell you, you will never succeed in broiler production. You will fail, and you will never enjoy any profits when it comes to that. If it is hard for you to manage 3 or more batches, at least sell 2 batches. There must be a difference of 2 weeks. So one important rule that you must remember is, make sure before you place a new batch, you must quarantine the cage that you store your broiler chickens. Make sure that you vaccinate it, you cleanse it, and make sure that you cleanse it and vaccinate and quarantine it for at least 2 weeks. Make sure you wash it thoroughly to destroy any form of disease that that may have been left out by that first batch, that you have sold out. So make sure that you quarantine the place for 2 weeks, and make sure you cleanse it properly and well with chemicals. Wash it thoroughly and leave it for 2 weeks for ventilation and for the diseases to die, right? And then you put another batch. Guys, this is, I think these are basic principles. Let me state them for the last time, like, just state them just like that. So make sure you follow these rules. Number one, make sure that you always have 2 or more batches that you sell. There must be at least 2 to 3 weeks in between a batch, at the first batch and the second batch. Make sure you must do it like that all the time, because if you sell a batch at a time, you won't enjoy the profit. The profits will be just small, and I mean, I don't know, but the profits won't be enjoyable, and it will be easy for you to flop, to fall, if you sell a batch at a time. Second, make sure you vaccinate your chickens. You must have a vaccination guide. In the next videos to come, we're going to be talking about broiler diseases, vaccination guides, and broiler, all sort of diseases. So make sure that you subscribe so that you won't miss out that video. And you must also be able to calculate your profits and losses. You must make sure that you calculate the profits and losses, because you mustn't lose all the time. You must gain and gain and gain all the time. And remember, guys, failing is part of the plan. Failing is part of the job. You might fail, but never fail. Never lose hope. Never lose focus. So those are the most important things that you need to do. And most importantly, when it comes to food, people fail when it comes to feeding this. When it comes to feeding broilers, you feed them, they feed them. They don't need to eat. When they are full, they stop eating those chicken. They just waste food. So make sure that you don't waste food. Make sure you don't waste food. Food is the only thing that makes most people fail when it comes to broiler production. Feeding. You must know when to feed and how to feed your broilers. Remember, never fill your feeding pens. There must be at least at half, or at 3/4, or I mean at a third, 1/3 or a half all the time. Because remember, those chickens, they only eat 4 to 5 kgs until slaughter age, per chicken. So there's no need to overfeed them. There's no need to always fuel those with food. We will talk more about feeding broilers in the future videos. These are just introduction videos to make sure that you won't lose a step, or fail when it comes to what you want to do. So remember guys, subscribe and follow, share, just do anything to help your friends out there. Zimfama will always be with you all the time. Remember, leave a comment if you didn't understand, and if you need to know more about how to run a successful broiler farm, leave a question and you explain more. And I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Until we meet again, toodles.